Morning everybody, welcome back to my gardening habit. We're just getting back from a 10-day road trip from New Jersey up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and back down around Lake Michigan. So had an awesome time, but we're back and I want to take you for a little tour, see how things are going around here. It's been a little while since I did an update, so let's get started. Chickens are doing well. No issues while we were gone. Got an awesome person to watch over the zoo while we're away. Oh no! Added a little tie off here so the kickstand can get pulled up if it drops down. Oh yeah, chickies. Somebody eating an egg in here last night. We were doing sand in the base here, but we got rid of most of the sand and we're trying to switch over to some sawdust and hay. I think we're gonna pull up the floor or clear it all off at some point, clean it out, and then put something down that we can do the deep litter method this winter. These are our new little girls. Got 4 Americanas from the Tractor Supply. They're coming along pretty good. We kept them separate for a little while, and I guess about a week before we went on vacation, we just kind of let them in with the big girls, and so far so good. They were very accepting. Morning, ladies. Aquaponics, still overgrown. It's gotten a little hot in here while we were gone. I think some of this stuff didn't do so hot. I know some of it's pretty cramped. I have to clean this out. This is on my list for this weekend. This Swiss chard. This thing went for about 2 years before it finally truly bolted and put out seed. I guess we don't want to focus. There we go. That's pretty little yellow flowers. You know, if any of it's actually good seed or not, but we'll check it out. But look how thick this thing is. It's hard. I trimmed out the perpetual spinach just before we left, and it's coming back pretty good already. You can see this is just in this one flood and drain bed over here, and it's reached all the way across over here and even dipping down into the water in the back there. Tilapia are doing well. Haven't had any issues. Temperature's been getting a little bit warm in here. We're up to 94.6 right now. Been dumping a little bit of ice in here to kind of keep them cool. I throw a couple blocks in the sump pump, or in the sump. And next for that, I've got to try to set up a little cooler for it. Something that will run a little pump, a little coil of buried tubing that'll then exchange some of the heat. I got a really late start on the garden beds. If you've been following along, you know we were getting ready for my sister-in-law's wedding. So it took a while to actually get much in over here. I didn't get any seeds started this year. So picked some stuff up from the store, some stuff is volunteer. This is the second year that I'm trying okra. I didn't have any luck the first go round. Looks like we've got a couple on here. Ooh, I don't want to pull that plant out. That's no good. I'll just clip that off, I guess. I thought you were supposed to break them off. Just leave that for now. We'll get them off today and see what we got. Got some oregano growing in here. Got some volunteer amaranth or Chinese multicolored spinach. In the center here, I'm trying to do the straw bed method of growing potatoes because I haven't really been having much luck with the other methods. So got some coming up over here, a couple popping up over in the other bed there. Took a little while for them to get going, but yeah, that's how it goes. Got a couple pepper plants, some mixed bell. This is Jimson weed. That's not supposed to be here. Or datura. It's supposed to be toxic. So just toss that out. Come back to you later. Got some tomato plants growing. These are taking off. These were from some little baby seedlings that my sister had given me. They seem to be doing quite well. Obviously they are hanging down. They're a little heavy. We're going to try to get them up today, get them trellised. Got some pole beans going. I think these are Blue Lake pole beans. So got a couple of them I'll pick today. Delicious. I gotta get the trellis back up so I can climb across. Got some cucumbers. Oh, there we go. There's one. I don't remember exactly the variety. Thought they were supposed to be pickling. I know that one over there is a little long. Got a little bee in there doing its job, helping to pollinate. But the vines themselves are doing much better than the last time I did cucumbers out here. I'm trying to, again, do the straw method, straw mulch method for the potatoes, and then around the other plants, I've tried to put that as a mulch for weed control. Got some sweet potatoes going back here, ones that we didn't get rid of in the garden share. Junk everywhere. Place got to get cleaned up. Got some Tradescantia zebrina. Rosa Sharon. We have a ton of Rosa Sharon in the back. It spreads like crazy, but it makes beautiful flowers. I believe that these are actually hibiscus. It's the common hibiscus. Not that fancy tropical one. Put a bunch of little seeds and chaff in with some topsoil there. Got some new ones sprouting. The greenhouse actually had the watering set up on a timer this go round when we were on a road trip. Probably the best we've done so far. Couple years there going away, I had hooked up a sprinkler up into the top to just spray all over everything. Doesn't really work out so well, so this year I've got some better irrigation set up, some drip lines, little teeny tiny mini sprinklers. Just give a nice little spread and just put them every couple feet. And looks like we're doing pretty good. Got tons of house plants, so gonna be needing to sell some of them soon or get rid of them somehow, because gotta make some room in here. Gotta get working on the next aquaponics. Here's some leftover seedlings from my sister. Gotta get them in the ground. Some tomatoes, a couple eggplants, some peppers. We got over here some Diva cucumbers that I planted just before we left. These are from a good friend of mine, Joe. Said he had a lot of luck with them, I believe. So hopefully we will too. A couple of the trays, we didn't have any holes or drainage, so some of them are a little boggy this morning, but we'll get them dumped out today. A couple others that I forgot to actually, or just didn't have time to get any water on, but still doing all right. We'll recover. The Swiss cheese back there looks pretty good. Actually seems to be doing better than it has in a long time, so maybe we needed a little less water. We can see the spider plants are looking pretty pale. The citronella still going strong 2 years later. The the avocado tree is doing well now. You can see a lot of the brown on the leaves. I think we just had inconsistent watering with them. They just weren't getting enough. I was thinking it was maybe a deficiency in calcium or something, but it seems like if I have consistent water on them, they do quite well. And I also got to keep an eye on mealy bugs, because they like to move in too. I can see some up there now. Mealybug eggs, I think. I'm not sure. That might be scale. Still learning the pests, but you can see plenty of new growth on here. So just a couple days ago, this was not looking so hot. A couple of things that I had left just in water did not do so well. And once the water dried up, had a couple tomato cuttings over here that were doing really well. Even this little guy tried to put out a little baby tomato. So yeah, things are going all right in here. Got some banana peppers. This is a 2-year plant. Overwintered it in the greenhouse, trimmed it down. It got hit by aphids pretty good. Same thing with this lemon drop pepper. Got hit by aphids pretty bad end of the season last year, and trimmed it back over the winter, and looks like we're doing pretty good there. The lawn in the backyard is doing quite well. Been using some fish emulsion fertilizer here and there where we water. You can see some little tufts out there where the dogs are adding their own fertilizer. Works out great if we can actually get to it before it burns, like this spot here. But it's coming along. 10 days with no cutting. It's getting long. In case you were wondering about the mushroom soil, how that worked out, it's working out great. We have this whole little mushroom farm in the backyard now. Not really sure what these are. If anybody does know, please help me out. I don't believe that this is something that you... Come on, man, focus in there. All right, there we go. So I don't believe that this is something that you would generally buy in the store. But I could be wrong. I don't buy a lot of mushrooms in the store. Not sure what that is. I'll have to look it up. But they're everywhere. All over the place. So I don't know if it's spores that were left over in the mushroom soil, or, I mean, I'd imagine it is because they're all very much the same mushroom. So it's got to be something like that. Be really surprised if just adding the mushroom soil here just gave enough nutrients for a bunch of wild spores to just go nuts. But I could be wrong. All right. Watering system outside seemed to do pretty well. I set it literally like 10 minutes before we left for the trip, so I wasn't 100% sure if every drip head was going to be, you know, perfect. Apparently it's on now, so you can see this guy is dripping a little bit much. I'm sure the azalea underneath is loving that. It's definitely got plenty of water in there. Some of them are a little bit lighter than others, but it seems like most everybody's getting a little bit of water. Keep them going through the summer heat. These drippers are pretty good. Every little notch that you turn is supposed to indicate one level of drippiness. So I just got them set up. Same in the greenhouse. I've got them set them up. I got them set them up on a Milner timer. Works pretty good. And on the side, I got some more tomatoes. Got to stake them up today. Got some sweet potatoes going back there. I want to get them around and pull them up on the mesh. Try to trellis them up. Arugula went crazy. This is year 2 on this arugula. I didn't take it out over the winter. I didn't trim it back. Didn't cut it down. Might have taken a little bit off of it, but came back strong, and it has not stopped flowering. So it's been a nice little pollinator stop. You can see all these little bugs floating around it. You get some bees on it and some flies. I haven't really looked, but I'm imagining that with all that pollination going on, there's some seeds in there. Over here we got some Egyptian walking onions. These things have been awesome. Looks like I might have a little too much water on them right now. I don't know. They're all slumped over. But you can see every one of these little guys here. The onion grows up and it puts out little baby onions on the top. And then those put out little baby onions. And they drop and they get in the soil, and then they establish and keep on going, and they just move along. Walking onions. And apparently, just found this out this year, that these little baby onions are the ones that they use as pearl shallots in pickles. Get them fancy pickles in the store with the little white pearl onions. That's these guys. Pretty cool. Rhubarb is doing great. Nice and hardy. Got some crowding in there maybe. Gotta thin it out a little bit. I gotta eventually make a pie. I've not done that yet. Front beds. Got some celery, some Blue Lake bush beans. These are coming in good. Gotta pick them today. A couple little pepper plants I stuck in. I think they're jalapeno, not 100%. Zucchini back here, it's doing good. These are ripe, ready to pick. My sister came over while we were on vacation. She grabbed a couple of the first ones. Nice little perfect tiny ones. Center bed here. Jenny has commandeered to start growing some dahlias and start propagating them out. While the straw has done well for most of the other weeds, definitely have some straw grass, some, I believe it's rye coming up, so we got to get through and weed some of that. This here we've got purslane. It's just a wild little weed that grows and is delicious, edible, good in salads. It's not very big, tastes like a lettuce, but when your bed gets overgrown with it, you have plenty. So gotta start harvesting that, making some salads. You get these pretty little yellow leaves on them too, or little flowers on them too. They should be popping in a day or two here. Zinnia garden's coming along. I've got a drip irrigation system in here, and I think I should have gotten it in a little bit sooner, but looking good. Happy with it. We're starting to get some heads coming up. Got a couple blooms. And this is all just saved from last year's garden. I have a ton of seed left from that I just didn't even use. Over this side we have more of our drier type items, kinda, just because we don't get too much water over here. The eucalyptus tree that has survived 3 years now, Jenny had lopped it back pretty good, and at the base of it, it bulbed out, and we've got all these shoots coming off of it. So tons of eucalyptus, broadleaf sage. Seems like it might have a little bit of a blight on it. So I trimmed a bunch of it out before we left. Some new stuff's already starting to pop up underneath. I'm probably going to trim it back a little bit more. The horseradish is doing well. This is year 3. I didn't do anything with it last year. The year before that was the first year, and I harvested a little bit early. I should have just left it in totally that year. Catnip, I never got around to cutting another flush before it bolted. But you can see all these flowers. This right now is bee heaven. They are all over this thing. It's just a big old patch of catnip. Got some spearmint that's starting to bolt also. Ripped a bunch of that out this year. This whole bed was covered in it. Great, another great one for pollinators. Had a ton of wasps on it, but yeah. So that's it. Appreciate you watching. I know it was a very long, drawn-out video. I apologize for that, but it's been a little while, so got a lot of work to do. Getting back from vacation is always an exciting thing. I know that there's always a bunch of work coming up from that. It's nice to get away. It's nice to get out and work on other stuff, spend time with family. But time to get back to work here. So hope you all are doing well, and we'll see you later.